Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a very special bonus episode of Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you've never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host, and today's show is all about the Royal Rumble. We're going to be breaking down this year's card, this year's Royal Rumble matches, and getting into some facts and figures of Royal Rumble statistics and all that kind of fun stuff. So, this is, it's Friday night as I'm recording this. It's going to be dropping on Saturday, the day before the Royal Rumble, so I'm sure some of the information for this year's card is going to change by the time the show actually happens, but this is what we got so far, so let's get into it here. I'm going to start off with the other matches on the show that have been announced so far, starting off with the big one for the Universal Championship, a last man standing match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. And this feud has been going on for a little while. I've said a number of times on the show, I really am liking the heel Roman Reigns. He's somebody, he is very good as a heel. He's somebody that I want to see get their ass kicked, and it never seems to happen. He never seems to lose the belt, and it frustrates the hell out of me, and that's what makes him such a good heel, is that he can evoke that kind of emotion, and it's not about Roman Reigns the person. I know Roman Reigns the person is an awesome guy, does a lot of charity work, and he's a family man and all that kind of stuff. He's by all accounts a great guy, but his character currently on WWE, I think, is just fantastic. He's really kind of found his niche, I would say, as a heel, and the feud with Kevin Owens, like I said, has just been fantastic. This was originally signed as Roman Reigns versus Adam Pearce. They kind of backed Pearce into a corner to force him into the ring with Reigns. But, as always, card subject to change. And Kevin Owens is the one getting the title shot in a last man standing match. As much as I want to see Kevin Owens win the Universal title at the Royal Rumble, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see Reigns dropping the title before WrestleMania. And even going into WrestleMania, he may hold on to it, well past WrestleMania. It all depends on who his opponent is. Is it going to be the winner of the Rumble? Is it going to be somebody else, somebody else from Smackdown, or what's going to happen? But for the Rumble coming up tomorrow night, I got to go with Roman Reigns to retain. Then for the WWE Championship, a match that a lot of people not happy about, and I can't say I'm super enthused about it either, but Drew McIntyre defending the WWE title against Bill Goldberg. I was a fan of Goldberg during the WCW days and the undefeated streak, and, him beating Hogan for the title in the Georgia Dome, but in 2021, to just randomly have Goldberg come back and just automatically get a shot at the top prize in WWE, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It really doesn't. I hope McIntyre retains the title. I think he's going to. I don't think they're going to put the WWE title on Goldberg. I think it's not a one-off because, Goldberg keeps coming back, but I don't think McIntyre is going to drop the title. At least I hope to God he's not. I want to see McIntyre go into WrestleMania as the champion. So, McIntyre versus Goldberg. My pick is McIntyre. And then the only other match on the card besides the Rumble matches is for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Asuka and Charlotte defending in a rematch against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Now, we've been seeing a little bit of dissension between Shayna and Nia lately on TV, so I'm not 100% sure on this one, because also there's the issue with Charlotte and Lacey Evans. So you could see Lacey somehow get involved with, with Ric Flair being her manager or whatever you want to call him now. But, and, Lacey costing Asuka and Charlotte the titles. So not 100% sure what's going to happen with this one, but I think I'm going to go with Shayna and Nia on this one. So I'm looking for Shayna and Nia to get the women's tag team championships back. Also, interesting little twist, going back to the WWE championship match for a minute. The Miz has been talking about cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase on the winner of the McIntyre versus Goldberg match, but he also made an appearance on Smackdown and mentioned about possibly cashing in on the Universal Championship after the Last Man Standing match, because obviously that's going to be a brutal match on both guys. So Miz really hinting that he is going to be cashing in, so definitely keep an eye out for that one. Also, WWE has announced that WWE Backstage is coming back for one night only, and that's going to be tonight, Saturday night. I believe it's 10 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1. And now they originally said they were going to make the announcement on Backstage of numbers 1 and 2 for the Women's Rumble and number 30 for the Men's Rumble. But that actually changed when they showed a commercial for it during SmackDown. Now they're saying they're only going to be announcing numbers 1 and 2 for the Men's Rumble, which I'm okay with. I really did not like the idea of them letting out who's going to be number 30 before the match even happens. I'm not super fond of them announcing numbers 1 and 2 before the match happens. I mean, one of the big elements of the Royal Rumble is the surprises, not knowing who's coming in next and stuff like that. So I'd rather they not announce anybody, but if they're only going to do numbers 1 and 2 for the Men's Rumble, I guess that's okay. But I'd prefer them not announce anything. But so let's before we get into the Rumble match for this year, let's take a look at some facts and figures for the Royal Rumble throughout history. I think everybody knows by now the winner of the very first Royal Rumble back in 1988 was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And now that Royal Rumble was not a pay-per-view. That was actually like a special event on the USA Network. And the Rumble match was not even the main event of that show. But and at that time, there were only 20 men in the first Royal Rumble. Hacksaw Jim Duggan won from number 13. Excuse me. And there was no prize really at the end of that one. The winner of the Rumble did not automatically get a championship match at WrestleMania until 1993. The first one to win that prize was Yokozuna. The year before that, in 92, was the year that Ric Flair won, and that particular match was for the WWE Championship. The title was vacant at that time, held up after the controversy between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker. And Ric Flair entered that match at number 3. Yeah, went for about an hour and ended up coming out with his first WWE Championship. And talking about numbers of entry and things like that. They always talk about number 27 being kind of the lucky number of the Royal Rumble. More numbers have come from number 27 than any other number in the Rumble. But interesting fact, nobody has won from number 27 for 20 years. The last time it happened was 2001, and that was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it was 01, 94, 93, and 89 is when number 27 won the Royal Rumble. And right behind that, numbers that have won 3 times throughout the years is number 24, won it in 91, 98, and 2000. 91 was Hulk Hogan, 98 was Steve Austin again, and 2000 was The Rock. And number 30 has won the match 3 times in 07, 08, and 2016. That was The Undertaker, John Cena, and 2016 was Triple H, have won from number 30. So, you know what? Like I said, it's been about 20 years since somebody's won from number 27, so keep an eye on that. For some reason, I feel that's significant. Just a gut feeling I have. So, keep an eye on who comes out at number 27 this year. Interestingly enough, talking about numbers who have won, the 38th entrant won one year when there were 40 people in the Royal Rumble. It was billed as the biggest Royal Rumble ever, and that was Alberto Del Rio in 2011. Entered at number 38 and ended up winning the match. And then there was one winner to come from number 41, and that was during the greatest Royal Rumble that was held in Saudi Arabia in 2018, which consisted of 50 men. And that match, of course, was won by Braun Strowman, who kind of, I guess, set a record in that match for most eliminations. I mean, like I said, it was a 50-person Rumble, so... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much stock you want to put in that. He eliminated 13 people in that Rumble match, but that number was actually tied by Brock Lesnar, who actually eliminated 13 consecutive people, meaning he entered at number 1 and eliminated numbers 2 through 14 in order that they came into the ring. So I'm not thinking that is going to be redone by anyone anytime soon. And then, following up the record of 13, the prior record holder was Roman Reigns in 2014, who eliminated 12. Kane held the record for a very long time with 11 that he did in 2001. So, let's talk about times, like how long some people have lasted in the Royal Rumble. The current official record is Daniel Bryan at 1 hour and 16 minutes and 5 seconds, but that was in the greatest Royal Rumble, again, the 50-man version that was held in Saudi Arabia. To me, the official record for the actual 30-man Royal Rumble, the traditional Rumble, still held by Rey Mysterio. Record he set in 2006 in 1 hour and 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Closely behind him, you'll never hear WWE talk about this, rightfully so, but it's Chris Benoit at 1 hour and 1 minute and 31 seconds in 2004. And let's talk about... Sorry, I'm just kind of jumping around to my little fact sheet here. People who have won the Rumble multiple times. Of course, Steve Austin still holds the record at 3. He won it in 97, 98, and 2001. And there is currently a 6-way tie between guys who have won it twice. And that 6-way tie is between Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Batista, John Cena, and Randy Orton. So the only person really with any real chance of tying Steve Austin at 3 at this point would be Randy Orton. I don't really think he's going to win it this year, but I'll get into that when I'm talking about the event coming up tomorrow night. But another interesting fact here: most times being a Royal Rumble runner-up, meaning he was the last man eliminated. Roman Reigns has done that 4 times in 2014, 17, 18, and 20. He was the last guy eliminated. So Roman Reigns made it to the final 4 times, and behind him it's a 4-way tie with guys who have been the runner-up twice, and that is the Big Show, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and John Cena. All were runners-up. So let's talk about total time in the Rumble, because I thought this was an interesting statistic here. The record for total time spent in a Royal Rumble match, meaning total of all the Royal Rumble matches that this person has been in, held by Chris Jericho, nearly 5 hours, 4 hours, 59 minutes, and 33 seconds to be exact. The closest person behind him is Rey Mysterio at 4 hours and 1 minute and 54 seconds. So, unless Rey Mysterio goes for an hour this year, Jericho's record in no danger of being broken. And I'm not thinking that's a record WWE is going to talk about, really, or they at least won't mention Jericho by name. I can pretty much guarantee you that, because, they always get into Rumble statistics and things like that during the show. So I'm sure they'll say the record for most cumulative time in the Royal Rumble is nearly 5 hours or something to that effect, but I can guarantee you they will not say Chris Jericho's name. But yeah, Rey Mysterio right behind him, 4 hours, or not right behind him, but kind of far behind him, 4 hours, 1 minute, 54 seconds. Now, the shortest time spent in a Royal Rumble, and you gotta feel bad for some of these guys because they were just in and out so fast. But Santino Marella, the record holder, 1.9 seconds is the official record, and that was in 2009. Literally slid into the ring and got immediately clotheslined over the top rope, and closely behind him is the Warlord, Sheamus, and No Way Jose, all tied at 2 seconds even. So that was the Warlord in '89, Sheamus in 2018, and No Way Jose in 2019. I'm kind of surprised to see Sheamus on this list, the shortest time in the Royal Rumble, because normally it's somebody who's not a top tier guy. I mean, I loved the Warlord as a wrestler, but you know, he wasn't a singles main event guy, and yeah, he was eliminated in 2 seconds. If I remember correctly, it was Hulk Hogan that put him out. And you know, same thing with No Way Jose, unfortunately, because he was another one that I was really hoping that they would do something with in WWE, but it apparently just wasn't meant to be. But yeah, 2019 lasted 2 seconds in the 2019 Royal Rumble. And we already talked about number of eliminations. Yeah, number of eliminations in a row. Like I said, Brock Lesnar had 13 in a row at last year's event. Kind of interesting. The second place holder for eliminations, consecutive eliminations, is Hulk Hogan with 8. He did that in 1989. Eliminated 8 consecutive guys in the Royal Rumble match, and then there's a pretty big traffic jam behind him at number 3. You got a tie between Diesel, Rikishi, the Great Khali, CM Punk, and Braun Strowman have all eliminated 7 consecutively in a Royal Rumble match. As far as total eliminations lifetime in the Royal Rumble, that record still is held by Kane with 43 through 19 Royal Rumbles that he has been in. Right behind him, his brother, The Undertaker, with 40 in 11 Royal Rumbles, and as well as Shawn Michaels, also with 40 in 12 Royal Rumbles. The closest active wrestler to that record is Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, each with 32 total eliminations. Now, Reigns, of course, not in this year's Royal Rumble, so no chance of him breaking Kane's record. Strowman, if he is able to, eliminate another 12 guys in this Rumble, he would surpass Kane for a record for most eliminations. And this is Strowman's 6th Royal Rumble that he is going into. Let's see. Okay, highest number of wrestlers working together to eliminate one person, meaning, a bunch of guys ganged up on somebody to get them out of the ring. And of course, these are going to be some big boys. Mabel, or Viscera, whatever you want to call him, is first on that list. In 2007, it took 8 guys to put him over the top rope. And in 1994, it took 7 to put him over the top rope. Record for most Royal Rumble appearances is Kane with 19. His first Rumble was 1996, and that would have been as Dr. Isaac Yankem. And his most recent Rumble was 2016. Yeah, didn't realize Kane hadn't been in a Rumble for 4. Well, this will be 5 years. And then, closest behind him is at 13 is a 3-way tie between Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, and Goldust. So Ziggler this year will be going into his 14th Rumble. Kofi Kingston out with an injury, so he won't be in this one. He was actually replaced, we found out on Monday Night Raw, by Mustafa Ali. So, Kofi will be stuck at 13. Ziggler will take sole possession of second place for most ever Royal Rumbles entered with 14. Here's another kind of fun one. Wrestlers who have competed multiple times in the same night. Of course, Mick Foley holds the record for that one. Made 3 appearances in 1998 as Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind. And then Nia Jax in 2019 entered both the women's and the men's Royal Rumbles to compete twice in that night. And talking about Nia Jax and women who have entered the men's rumble, China did that twice in '99 and 2000, and after that we've had Beth Phoenix, Karma, also known as Awesome Kong, and Nia Jax all compete in the men's rumble as well. So yeah, just some interesting statistics and fun facts about prior Royal Rumbles that I thought were interesting. Hopefully you guys do too. So let's get into the Rumble matches for this year. Now we're gonna start off with the men's Rumble. So far, as of right now, like I said, I'm recording this Friday night. There have been 21 entrants officially announced for the Rumble. So there's only 9 open spots. And those entrants are as follows: Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Otis, The Miz, Jey Uso, Cesaro, Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, Big E, John Morrison, Sheamus, Mustafa Ali replacing Kofi Kingston. Edge has officially announced he is back and he will be in the Royal Rumble. I was very excited to see that. Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, and Braun Strowman, who made his comeback on Smackdown this week from his suspension, quote unquote, since Survivor Series. So yeah, 21 guys so far announced. So there's 9 open spots. I think right now the odds-on favorite to win, to me anyway, is probably Daniel Bryan. He seems to be, the one standout so far of the people that have been announced. Now, with the Rumble being held in the Thunderdome without that live crowd there, I don't know if we're going to see the kind of surprises that we're used to with the Royal Rumble, because you're not going to get that big pop like with Edge last year when he came out and the crowd went nuts and just blew the roof off the arena that didn't have a roof to begin with. But yeah, so I don't know if we're going to see any big surprises like that. That's, I'm sure, why they announced Edge being in the Rumble ahead of time rather than making it a surprise, because you're not going to get that huge crowd reaction in the Thunderdome unless they pipe it in, which would be very obvious. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that, but I think Daniel Bryan is probably your most likely candidate to win. Now, I have my ideas about some other people who could or should be considered, to win the Rumble and go on to WrestleMania. Number 1 is Aleister Black. If you pay attention to the dirt sheets online, he hasn't been on TV in a couple of months, and there was a lot of stories going around that they basically just had nothing for him, had lost confidence in him for whatever reason. I don't know why anyone would lose confidence in Aleister Black. The guy is fantastic in the ring. His entrance is amazing, and he does some really good promos, I think. So to me, he seems like somebody who should be pushed to the moon. And if you believe the rumors that are out there, that was Paul Heyman's intention when he was in charge of Monday Night Raw. And then when Bruce Pritchard took over both Raw and SmackDown, he just kind of quashed that idea and, pushed Aleister Black into the background. But now the stories are going around that, he's back in that, I guess back in the position of supposedly getting finally getting a big push. And so I think that would be a really cool, surprise to see Aleister Black, number 1, come back and be on TV, and number 2, win the Royal Rumble. Just thrust him right into that championship picture, and I mean, give the guy a shot. It's something new, which people clamor for all the time. So I would love to see Aleister Black come back and win. Another one that people were talking about for a while is Big E, because Big E has gotten a significant push since his split from the New Day. Currently the Intercontinental Champion, and definitely got the fans behind him. So Big E's another one that I think would be a great choice to win the Royal Rumble, as would this next person, Keith Lee. Again, haven't seen him on TV for a while, or for a couple of weeks, or a week or two, I don't know, but I know he wasn't on Raw this week. But anyway, he's another one that people are really clamoring for. Give him a shot, give him a push, put him in that title picture. I mean, he's had some great matches with Drew McIntyre, did get a title shot on Raw. I'd love to see him win the Rumble as well. Another one I don't think is quite so likely, because I don't see him getting a championship match real soon, but Bray Wyatt or The Fiend. Either one. I'm hoping we see him come back during the Rumble match. I'll get into that in a minute. But I don't think he'd win, because I don't know. I just don't see them throwing The Fiend into the world title picture right now. And then another one that's kind of come on in the last couple of weeks, kind of surprising to me, but I'm not complaining about it because I love this guy, Shinsuke Nakamura. Has had a little bit of a face turn the last couple of weeks, and has been, getting some high-profile victories, and a lot of it getting quite a bit of attention on TV. He's won a Rumble a couple of years ago, back in 2018, and had what I thought was a really good feud with AJ Styles after that, and then just kind of fell off. It's like they just, after his program with Styles was over with, that was it. He was just pushed back down to the mid card. So I'd love to see Nakamura get his second Rumble victory and go into WrestleMania against either Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre. I don't care. Either way, I'd love to see Nakamura back in the WrestleMania main event. So like I said, I don't think we're going to see any big, huge surprises, but some names have been rolling around, and some, that I've thought of that are possibly maybe showing up. One is Booker T. I'm almost positive Booker T will be in the Royal Rumble, because you've got Bad Bunny performing at the pay-per-view, performing his song Booker T, which Booker T is in the video for the song, so it just makes sense. Booker T is going to be in the Royal Rumble. I am 99% sure of that. But some other names that have been kicked around, Carlito is one. He was supposed to be at the Raw Legends night, wasn't there for whatever the reason, and so a lot of people are speculating possibly Carlito making his return to WWE at the Royal Rumble this year. Another one is Jay White from New Japan. Now, this one there's been a lot of back and forth on, because after Wrestle Kingdom, Jay White basically said he was done with New Japan. People weren't really sure if that was a shoot or just part of, whatever upcoming storylines may be going on. So, but yeah, a lot of people speculating possibly Jay White making his Royal Rumble debut this year, which I think would be great. I don't think he will get the same kind of reaction that AJ Styles did when he made his Rumble debut, because Jay White, I don't think, is as globally known as AJ Styles was, because AJ Styles, before, New Japan, AJ Styles was, he was Mr. Impact Wrestling. He was, big star in Ring of Honor, Independence, and things like that, and, obviously made a huge name for himself in New Japan, so he was pretty much universally known in the wrestling world. So when he made his Royal Rumble debut, it was a big deal. Jay White, equally as good as AJ Styles, but I don't think we'll get the same reaction because he's not as universally known. He's known by like hardcore wrestling fans who follow New Japan or follow the Bullet Club, but still, it would be a great pickup for WWE to get Jay White. Another one is Ethan Page, who just recently finished his contract with Impact. He's a free agent, can pretty much go wherever he pleases. I don't know if the Rumble is the right place for him to debut. I see Ethan Page more debuting on NXT rather than the main roster, because again, as great of a wrestler as he is, and as much as he is loved by hardcore wrestling fans, your casual WWE fan is not going to know who he is, unfortunately. So he's not going to get that big reaction as a surprise entrant to the Rumble. Some NXT guys possibly could be popping up. Actually, I'm pretty sure there'll be at least a couple NXT guys in the men's Rumble. One is Damian Priest. By all accounts, he was supposed to come up to Smackdown a few weeks ago, but it was delayed or canceled or whatever it was. He was supposed to be kind of just randomly put into the rivalry between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, and thankfully, because he was right, Kevin Owens kind of shot the idea down because he said it didn't make sense, which it didn't. That it would not have made a lick of sense to just throw him in there randomly, to back up Kevin Owens. But this would be a good place for him to make his main roster debut in the Royal Rumble. Another one is Adam Cole. I have a feeling Adam Cole is going to be moving to either Raw or SmackDown sometime soon because, he was the top guy in NXT for so long. And now, he's still one of the top guys there. Undisputed Era, still the best faction in WWE right now, in my opinion. But Adam Cole himself, not a part of any major storylines. He's in the Dusty Cup teaming with Roderick Strong, but, not involved in any major rivalry. And Kyle O'Reilly right now is kind of the guy when it comes to the Undisputed Era. He's had a couple of shots at the NXT title with Finn Balor. Had a tag team match with Finn Balor this past week. Kyle O'Reilly kind of emerging as the new face of the Undisputed Era. So, I think we may be seeing something of a split with the Undisputed Era, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it just seems like that's kind of what's coming. Some other possible surprises, actually a comeback, would be Seth Rollins. Now, I could see Rollins coming back and actually winning the Rumble and then challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Because, there's a built-in story there. Both former Shield members, they've been friends, they've been partners, they've been rivals. So I just think that would make for a great story and a great match with Rollins and Reigns. So, and, of course, Rollins been out for a little over a month with, he and Becky Lynch, of course, just had their first child last month. So, obviously, he's taking some time off to be with his new kid. So, but I could definitely see Rollins coming back during the Rumble, possibly as a surprise number 30 entrant. Maybe that's why they decided not to announce the number 30 entrant on Backstage this week. And then a couple of free agents, veterans, legends that could possibly show up during the Rumble that would, I think be a welcome surprise. One, and I think this is a long shot at best, but Bully Ray. He's no longer under contract with Ring of Honor. As far as I'm aware, has not made any wrestling appearances in quite some time. So I think he'd be an interesting surprise entrant for the Rumble. Another one is Rob Van Dam. No longer under contract with Impact, has been doing some work with WWE on some of their documentaries that are going to be coming out in the coming months. So I could definitely see RVD making an appearance, not winning, but making an appearance in the Rumble match. So that pretty much covers the men's Rumble. Like I said, I think Daniel Bryan is probably the best bet as the winner of the men's Rumble. But I gave you some other options that I think would be kind of cool to see. But I got no problem with Daniel Bryan winning. He's never won a Rumble match. He's damn sure earned it. So if it turns out to be Daniel Bryan, it's a little predictable, but I have no problem with it whatsoever. So let's move on to the Women's Royal Rumble. Now here, by necessity, you are going to see some unexpected entrants because, when I say by necessity, it's because there are only 26 women on the main roster between Raw and SmackDown, and 2 of them are currently out of action. Chelsea Green is out with an injury, and Becky Lynch out, of course, because, as I was just saying about Seth Rollins, just had their first child. And there's been a lot of speculation about Becky Lynch possibly coming back for the Rumble. I highly doubt it. She just had a baby like a month ago, so even if she's physically ready to come back, which, obviously she's a tremendous athlete, great physical condition, so, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see her bounce back from giving birth physically within a month. I just don't see it happening. mainly because of the risk involved. She has a newborn. Does she really want to expose herself potentially to, there's been outbreaks of COVID-19 among the WWE roster. So does she want to take that chance? If she's there, she's going to have to probably quarantine herself afterwards for 14 days from her brand new baby. I don't see it happening. There's too much going on there. I don't see Becky Lynch coming back. Not yet anyway. But let's go over who has been announced so far for the Women's Rumble. So far we got Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, Peyton Royce, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Tamina, and Natalya. I think of the names that have been announced, your most likely winner for the Women's Rumble is Bianca Belair. She's been getting a huge push on SmackDown, been having a great rivalry with Bayley. I've really been enjoying the stuff that they've been doing. Even the obstacle course, as ridiculous as it was, I found it entertaining. And so, yeah, I think Bianca Belair is your most likely winner of the Women's Rumble. But again, I'm going to go through some who I think should or could potentially be winners of the Rumble. One is Shayna Baszler. I want to see Shayna Baszler back as a singles wrestler. I'm a big fan of Shayna Baszler. I like her style. I like her attitude. She's just a badass, period. And she can kick pretty much anybody's ass, and she knows it. And she lets you know that she knows it. And, so a lot of people have problems with her. Oh, she can't cut a promo and this and that. But you know what? I'm not going to say she's a bad talker, because she's not. Is she the best talker in WWE? No. But whatever she does say in her promo, she backs up. Like I said, she's a legit badass MMA fighter. Can pretty much kick the crap out of anybody she gets in the ring with, and she rarely loses a match. I'd love to see her and Asuka for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. I think that would be an amazing match between those two. So, yeah, Shayna Baszler is one that I would love to see win the Royal Rumble. Another one is Lacey Evans, though I think the likelihood of that is very, very low. But Lacey Evans at one point seemed to be getting pushed as like your next big breakout women's star, and then seemed to stall a little bit and didn't have a real clear direction. Now they put her with Ric Flair in a rivalry against Charlotte. I'm kind of liking that. They're having her work basically with the top woman in the company. I mean, Charlotte doesn't need the title at this point. Charlotte is the face of the WWE Women's Division, like it or not. That's the way it is. So, Lacey being put into a program with her is definitely elevating Lacey. But she's another one. I'd have no problem seeing her against either Asuka or Sasha Banks for the for either women's championship. Another one, and this would be another one that would be kind of a surprise comeback, is Naomi. Haven't seen her on TV in a very long time. I think she'd be a pretty nice surprise during the Rumble match. And let's face it, Naomi is just a great freaking athlete. She's another one. I would love to see Naomi versus Sasha Banks for the championship. I think that would be an awesome WrestleMania match. So, just throwing that one out there as a possibility, Naomi coming back and winning the whole thing. And the last one is Alexa Bliss. I have said many times, I love the character change that Alexa Bliss has had over the last couple of months. The stuff she's been doing with Asuka just in the last couple of weeks has been great. She has taken to this new character that they've given her, and she's just taken it and ran with it. And Alexa Bliss is my favorite thing on Raw right now. I'm pretty sure I've said that. Alexa Bliss and The Fiend and that whole thing with them is the best thing on Raw, in my opinion. Or at the very least, it's my favorite thing, like I said. And, like I said, they've been building up the program with her and Asuka the last few weeks. Carry that into WrestleMania. Alexa comes in, does some of her, works some of her magic, and ends up winning the Rumble and challenging Asuka at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's title, hey, I'm here for it. I'd love to see it. But I think the most likely victor in the Women's Royal Rumble is Bianca Belair. And we'll probably end up seeing Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, I would think, for the SmackDown Women's title. And hell, that'd be another amazing match between those two. So, whether it's Bianca or Naomi or Alexa or Shayna, those are my most likely or my favorite candidates to win this year's Women's Royal Rumble. Some possible surprises, debuts, returns for the Women's Royal Rumble. A lot of people have been speculating about Ronda Rousey coming back, and I don't know how likely that is. I mean, Ronda's been away since WrestleMania 36, so she's been gone almost WrestleMania 35, I'm sorry. So she's been gone almost 2 years. Don't know when or if she's going to come back. I mean, Stephanie McMahon did an interview recently, and she was asked about Ronda's comeback, and she was very non-committal, which you would expect. But she basically said whenever Ronda's ready to come back, we're ready to have her back. So, the jury's out on that one. I don't think it's very likely. If she does come back, I think it'll be a one-off. I don't think she will win, and I don't think she'll be back full-time. So, if Ronda makes an appearance, I think, she'll be in the Rumble for a little bit, and then we won't see her again for who knows how long. I already talked about Naomi as a possibility to come back. Some NXT women you could see, which I'm pretty sure we'll see at least a few. Kacy Catanzaro, she had what I thought was a great showing at, the 2020 Rumble. She was one kind of in the same vein as like a Kofi Kingston or a Naomi or a John Morrison, with their kind of, escaping elimination by some really cool means. So I think they may bring her back just for that. Another one that I think would be an interesting addition to the Rumble is Xia Li. The stuff that they've been doing with her on NXT has been great, with her and Boa and their new sensei, or whatever you want to call her. I think Xia Li would be a good addition to the Rumble. Another one is Rhea Ripley. There's been rumors of her being called up to either Raw or SmackDown for quite some time now, so it may be time to pull the trigger and put her in the Rumble and have her on up on the main roster, quote unquote. Another one I'm almost certain that we are going to see in the Women's Rumble is Beth Phoenix. I think everybody knows she does commentary for NXT, but for the last several months she's been doing it remotely from home. Obviously, I would think because she doesn't want to have to quarantine from her kids after coming back, but just last week came back to the Performance Center and was doing commentary at the commentary desk at ringside. So that kind of says to me she's been there in Florida for 2 weeks. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see Beth Phoenix in the Women's Royal Rumble, and I got no issue with that. She has put on, her performance in last year's Rumble was freaking amazing. She busted the back of her head open early on and, continued deep into the match. So, Beth Phoenix, I think it's a safe bet. We're going to see Beth in the Women's Rumble. And a couple of possible potential surprises or debuts that we may see. One is, and I think the likelihood of this one again is pretty low, but one is Tessa Blanchard. Currently a free agent, hasn't wrestled to my knowledge since September at the Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series, when she lost the Warrior Wrestling Women's Championship. And by just judging by reactions and things going on behind the scenes there, it seemed like it was kind of her last appearance at an independent show. At least that was the impression I got. Nobody said that, nobody implied that to me or anything. That's just my own impression based on things that I saw. So, I don't want anybody thinking that I've got inside information. No, I don't. That's the impression that I got. So, if that was in fact her last independent appearance, that would say to me that she has signed with one of the major companies, either WWE or AEW. So, if she has signed with WWE, I think this would be a great spot for her to make her debut. And another free agent that we could possibly see pop up in the Women's Rumble is Taya Valkyrie. Of course, she is a free agent now, just finished up with Impact Wrestling, and obviously, I think everybody knows by now she is married to John Morrison. So it's not that far of a stretch to say that she'll be showing up in WWE at some point in the near future. And of course, the Royal Rumble, one of the best places for people to make their debut. So it would not surprise me at all to see Taya Valkyrie make her debut in the Royal Rumble, especially with some of the stuff that Tommy Dreamer said when she made her exit from Impact a couple of weeks ago. Of course, she was arrested for the shooting of Johnny Bravo, and Dreamer said if she's lucky, she'll be going to Jacksonville Penitentiary. If she's unlucky, which she usually is, he kind of put emphasis on her being unlucky and going to the Stamford Penitentiary for a 2-year stint with an option for a third. So I don't know if that was foreshadowing or if it was more tongue-in-cheek and just meant to be a joke. Who knows? But would not surprise me at all to see Taya Valkyrie make her debut in the Women's Royal Rumble this year. So that pretty much wraps it up for the Royal Rumble preview and predictions bonus episode. Hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to keep watching, listening, subscribing on YouTube and all of the podcasting platforms. You can find links to everything that is Catch Hook Shoot by scanning this little QR code right here in the corner if you're watching on YouTube, or go to our Linktree page. It's linktree/catchhookshoot. You can get to the website and the web stores and all the podcasting apps and YouTube and everything else. And make sure tomorrow night during the Rumble, starting 5 p.m. Central Time, Charlie G and I will be streaming live on Twitch a Royal Rumble watch along. We will not be streaming the pay-per-view. I want to make that very clear. If you tune into our Twitch expecting to see the pay-per-view, you're not going to see it. It's going to be me and Charlie giving our thoughts, our own commentary, so log on to Twitch, watch along with us. It's twitch.tv/catchhookshoot. You can find that link on the link tree as well. And make sure to check out the brand new website, catchhookshoot.wixsite.com/catchhookshoot. You can get the podcast and the YouTube videos there as well. See all of the merchandise that's available, photo gallery of all of our adventures through pro wrestling and everything like that. It's a pretty cool site. Just launched like a week ago, and built it myself. I think it's pretty damn good, so go give it a look. But definitely make sure tomorrow during the Rumble, starting at 5 p.m. with the pre-show, it's twitch.tv/catchhookshoot. Join me and Charlie G for a watch-along party, and join in the chat. Let us know what you think of the show, the matches, everything like that, and hope to see you guys there. So until then, hope you've enjoyed this little Royal Rumble bonus episode, and the regular episode of the show will be dropping on Sunday as usual, Sunday morning, to get it out ahead of the Royal Rumble. So with that, I am going to sign off. Hope everybody enjoys the Rumble. Make sure to join us on Twitch tomorrow night, and I will talk to you guys soon.